Good evening, my dear ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Welcome to a very special episode of The Sandbox. Tonight we will kick up some sand and dust in your ear canals. This is a sound you've never heard before, the sound of living. First things first, let me introduce you to the wonderful team members of Team Radio. Sitting on my right here in the studio is the beautiful and athletic Paula, my co-host for tonight.
Hello, Ari.
Making sure we're not extending our stay here at Radio Centraal is Boma, our very nice photographer and punctual time manager.
Hello.
And last but not least, we have dinosaur lover Ruben, who's in charge of our one-man technical crew.
Hi.
My name is Ari, and I promise you this show will give you the best eargasm you've ever had. Let's go!
Thank you, Ari, for your wonderful introduction. As you said, we are here in representation of the Sound of Living project, but people may wonder, what kind of magic is this? This, ladies and gentlemen, is good ethnographic stuff. We are students of KU Leuven, and we are doing a research seminar about creating creative livelihoods. This is how people make a living out of creativity in a creative way.
Oh, so like the people here at Radio Centraal.
Exactly. We're better than Radio Centraal to make this. Since we've been here the past few weeks doing field work.
Paula, what do you mean by doing field work? Is it like archaeologists digging up rocks and polishing them?
No, Ari, did you forget your major? Our participants are actually living people.
Oh, so you're digging up and polishing living people? That's a weird fetish you have there. I'm confused.
No, Ari, it's anthropology, not archaeology. What we do is talking to people and trying to understand the world through their eyes.
Oh, that's why we're making radio. So we get a better feel of the radio making process.
You gotcha.
I gotcha. But, Paula, could you maybe help me refresh my memory? How did we end up at Radio Centraal again?
Well, let's take now a trip back on time to when, about 3 months ago, 9 of us drew the sorter sticks and ended up in a group called Creative Livelihood.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Flashback sound.
There, we were assigned to explore the way in which creative people define and make their livelihoods. We searched far along for everything that we consider creative, from makerspace to hackerspace, until we ended up here at Radio Centraal.
Oh.
Yeah, Radio Centraal is an independent community radio with a unique concept. It's the real proof that being non-commercial is not an obstacle to success. More on the contrary, it has successfully accommodated at least 1,000 of creative people for the last 40 years. Radio Centraal is a haven to voice the sounds that otherwise remain unspoken and unheard of, and the perfect place to inspire and drive unique creative livelihoods along the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no wonders why we instantly fell in love with it. And we were intrigued to follow as much Radio Centraal content makers as possible. What brings us here, right now, is our wish of hear the story of their creative livelihood and how Radio Centraal has a role in it.
Oh, wow. We've really been putting in a lot of work, haven't we? But on a more serious note, we are really thankful to have a special guest with us tonight to kick off this series of profiles of creative livelihoods at Radio Centraal. Tonight's guest is Bert Lezy, a visual artist and the creative brain behind Blastow, Radio Centraal's weekly show in which Bert plays with language, sound and music to create a very unique sound. But instead of me explaining it, let's have his work speak for itself.
Safety has an open mouth. Safety has an open mouth. Safety has an open mouth.
Eyes that cannot see.
Safety slept up on my lap. Safety slept up on my lap. Safety slept up on my lap.
Look so deep in me.
Safety is the cootie wootie. Safety is the cootie wootie. Safety is the cootie wootie.
Safety is complete.
So, hi, welcome, Bert Lezy.
Hey, hello.
Can you tell us a bit what we are just listening to?
This was a track Safety is called a Cootie Woody, and it's called Safety is a Cootie Woody. It's a track by the Residents. It's a band from San Francisco. They exist since 1972 under that name.
Oh.
And they've always been like incognito, like nobody knows who they are. But some people do know who they are. And they make like music about music. So it's
Music about music.
They do a lot of reinterpretations and cover songs, and in a humoristic way put them in question.
Oh,
Put
great.
Pop music itself in question. Yeah. And they're very influential for me, and I think for a lot of people on Radio Centraal. It's yeah.
And why is that? How could you describe the influence they had on you?
For one part, the mystique they have, and also the humor is very important to me. It's like the rock music and pop music is sometimes taken very seriously, and they like in a very weird Dadaistic way play with that and put it into question in a funny way. Sometimes also in a scary way or a weird way. So it's a weird band as well. But there's always something funny about it, and that's what I like.
Okay.
Yeah, because for your work, you told us the other time we talked that fun was important for you. Like it was, you want to bring this funny component to your own work?
Yes, that's also part of my visual work and also my radio work. It's not all about fun or jokes, but to me it's important. It's like a door which opens to bring in other stuff or putting things in question. Yeah.
So, can you tell us a bit about your show here on Radio Centraal, Blaastyle?
Yeah, it started out I think 12 years ago. I did it together with a friend. Now I do it alone, but sometimes I do it with guests. And I work with, I do different things, but I work with the first typical Radio Centraal music that's not heard everywhere.
Yeah.
It can go from avant-garde music to also stupid Flemish songs that nobody knows, or children's songs. I also work a lot with sound records, airplanes, birds, also language courses are because that's what very important in my show is like language put out of context.
Okay.
So when you listen to old language courses, English, for instance, you get like crazy stories if you when you put a pause in it and then start it again with background noises. I also do it often with live musicians. So tonight I have my show 8:30. And Bjorn de Rijmakers will hear me.
Oh, okay.
And he's gonna bring a guitar. Every time he brings another guitar when he visits me. So
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
curious what kind of guitar he's gonna bring today. And we don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna
It's improvised. then.
improvise
Oh, wow.
for an hour. Yeah.
So everybody tune in tonight at 8:30.
Blaastyle.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. And about your work, do you think as your work like music, or how would you define like more like art or experiment or?
Yeah, sometimes people ask me if I'm a musician, but I can't play one note on a...
Oh.
But I like making sounds like with tape or with
Yes.
beer cans or And I also put a lot of time in making cut-ups from fragments from like the weather forecast of the news or traffic information, like the most stupid things you hear on other radios or on television or soap series or stuff like that. And if I have time enough, I spend hours and hours making cut-ups out of it and changing word orders and like making funny stuff from boring stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And what do you want to achieve, like with your program? What would you like to build while doing this kind of?
It depends. It's like sometimes I want to poke some fun. Sometimes I want to canalize my anger a bit, like my things that irritate me. I think a lot of radio and television is right down irritating or stupid.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I try to, like, in a funny way, trying to make something else out of it, to try to pour. It's like making a collage, but with sound. Yeah.
A sound collage.
A sound collage. Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Partly live and partly made before at home. Yeah.
So,
go ahead, Paula.
we know that you work as a visual artist also.
Yeah.
So how does this music or this sound relate to your life as a visual artist?
In many ways, in fact. I've always been collecting music since I was a kid, recording tapes, and it really gives inspiration to me. Listening to music, to strange music, exploring, like it goes from punk music to avant-garde, to rock and roll, to all kind of stuff. And I also used to decorate my tapes with drawings and collages and stuff like that. And I also do a lot of posters. Sometimes posters for DJ sets I do, and concerts that are going on in het bos or in different places. So there's always been a relation between music and my art. Yeah.
Yeah, because you make live drawings at concerts.
If I see, is that door or is it
phone? Somebody is calling us. Apparently.
I'm not gonna, I lost myself a bit.
Okay.
No problem. About the drawings and about your, you are publishing books while making a drawing per day, right?
Yeah. Every day I make a drawing. That's like a bit like making a song. Or there has to be tempo in the stuff I do. I started it 3 years and 2 months ago. The dagelijkse Lezy, every day a drawing. The end of the year I make a book of it with all the drawings, just 1st of January, 2nd, 3rd, until the end of the year. This is book 3 now that I have.
Third book already.
Yeah, now I'm working on book 4, hopefully, if everything goes right. What I also do is also the relation with music is I also do live drawings in public.
Yes.
I had to say that the former question already, but I do this with jazz concerts in Café de Cades in the summer Jazz Tuesday. So I just improvise on the music they're playing, and I have just drawing gear and a little camera above it, and a beamer which projects it directly.
So people can follow what you're drawing live while listening to the music.
I just really go in the music and you can see that. I also do this with a band I'm in. It's called the Valerie Solanas, and I do every show of them. I do this live performance with drawings. I also do all their artwork and video clips and everything around the Valerie Solanas. Check them out. Yes, yeah.
Do you think the fact that you are having this show in Radio Centraal every week, fixed slot, it's also like a way of keeping a continuity with your work?
Yes, yeah, that's true. Sometimes the daily drawing I have to really do every day. Sometimes for the radio show, there periods that I have a lot of time, sometimes I don't have much time. So sometimes I really make completely in detail a whole show, and sometimes I just arrive here without not knowing what I'm gonna do and just throwing it out.
Yes.
What I also have to do sometimes is to do a re-emission of an old episode because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that it is there every week.
Okay.
So in those 12 or 13 years I'm doing this, I think it's only been like maybe 10 times I didn't show up.
Oh, that's very few.
But then I warned people before that I wasn't going to be there. So sometimes I drop a CD here with the show, and then they put it on. And sometimes it's a remake of an older episode. But I think I can do this because I put a lot of work in some of these episodes, so they can be played again 6 years later. Or,
So was your show always like this, or because you have been broadcasting for quite a while? How did it evolve?
Yeah, it
over
evolved
time.
a lot.
How did you start out? Like, what's the difference?
In fact, it started out with a CD I made, and it was a nephew of mine. He recorded in the 1980s on the Antwerp Independent Radio. Completely different than Radio Centraal because it was a radio for old people, handicapped people. But it was really very, how should I say, unprofessional, but in such a friendly, funny way. And also they spoke very weird. They were trying to speak Dutch with a very heavy Antwerp accent.
Oh.
If they put if they have to say English song titles, like they say Hamazinging Grace instead of Amazing Grace and stuff
wow.
like that. So it was very funny, and I made a CD out of that, and that was like a little success among friends and friends of friends. And then Dennis Steve is also working on Radio Centraal. He said, you should do a show, and yeah, I'm gonna do it, but I was also a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And I started out with Mick Prims, a good friend of mine. So we did it for years together on Monday noon, 1 o'clock. We had a show, yeah. But since a few years I'm doing it alone, like the combination didn't work anymore, and so we went separate ways. Yeah.
And then Blastyle.
Yeah, it was always called
it was always
Blastyle.
called
It was
Blastyle.
yeah.
Okay.
The first CD was also under the name Blastyle.
Oh,
that's
okay.
why,
So that's a continuity throughout the years.
So what does it mean for you to work here at Radio Centraal? What has a special for you, Radio Centraal?
Yeah, it's more like playing on. Is it work? Is it play? It's something.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not getting paid for this.
Yes.
We even pay to do this.
We promise we're not getting paid.
Yes. So for you, it's really a hobby, or because it's also a bit related to your visual work as an artist?
Like,
is it art? How would you describe it?
I wouldn't call it a hobby. It's more like, it's part of my life. It's like I'm all the time trying to create stuff with what's happening around me, the small things. Like also with the drawings, like I said with the Blastyle collages, it's like the weather forecast. A lot of these drawings in the book, maybe almost half of them, are made in bars. While I'm sitting and hearing chatter of people, and I also pick out like funny words or funny phrases, and then I reinterpret it to make a drawing that clashes with it. So
you
it's
have
also language is very important in my drawings. Yeah. So that's a connection between Blastyle and my visual work. Yeah.
But also then in your personal life, you don't really, to me it sounds like you don't really have fixed times, like now I'm an artist and I'm creating and now I'm not. Are you always like involved with this process?
Yes. One flow, yeah.
Yes.
In fact, I'm all the time busy doing it.
Yeah. It's like
not with that pretension that now I'm working, but it's just my life, and then this stream of things going on. It's plop every day. It's a drawing that I choose out of it. Okay.
You make multiple.
I do more than. Sometimes I'm working a long time on a drawing that will be finished in 2 weeks, and others are just made in a few minutes. And so I just try to plan it that I have every day something that hasn't been seen before.
Okay. Yes.
Sometimes also the live drawings I do with the concerts. So I say, okay, this is the one for tomorrow. This is the one for the day after tomorrow. Yeah. Also new drawings, portraits, cartoons. So it's a constant stream, and then between those 24 hours that make out a day, I have to choose out one. This is going to be the one.
Oh,
for
okay,
today.
that
So
represents
that's how I
the
work.
day,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had this feeling of blank, of don't feel absolutely like doing
yeah,
anything?
of course, yeah. But the good thing is that because I'm always busy, I like my house is full of drawings and half drawings, so I can always pick out something. Funny thing is that one time I made, I put a dagelijkse Lezy drawing. It was just a few scratches on paper, and I wrote under it that it seemed like you didn't have very much hoesting,
like inspiration,
feeling like doing it. Yeah,
like very. And the funny
Yes.
thing is, somebody bought the drawing. So
Oh.
they really want this one. So
Okay.
is that work?
Yeah.
Is that play? Is that I don't know.
yes.
But
Something in between,
Yeah, yeah.
completely. So, about your show here in Radio Central, are you satisfied with it? Are you happy with how it's going so far?
Yes, I'm very glad that I live in Antwerp, and because this radio is it's a unique project. I think it's almost anywhere in the world. I think that something like this, with this freedom of, the one thing you can do here is play commercial music.
Yeah.
Or if you do, cut it up or put it in a
Yes.
strange context.
Yeah.
So it's very unique. So I'm very glad that I can be part of it. It's like Dennis Stevenson, my friend and artist I mentioned before. He said it's like a Gesamtkunstwerk that's going on for 40 years already. And
Is
I think
that how
that's a
you would
good-
describe Radio
I
Central?
think that's a very good description of
wow.
Radio Central.
Yes.
That's completely the opposite of Clara, our studio.
Yeah.
Brussels, because it's all very. They don't even know how to put on a record or a CD. Yeah.
And do you have any future plans for your show? How do you see it evolving, or do you just let it happen?
The future is what's gonna happen in 1 hour.
Yeah.
And a half.
That's the future.
Yeah. No, I just go on from day to day with everything. And, I try to plan it, and then by the end of the year, I start planning the book.
Okay.
Oh,
It can
yes.
be finished in the beginning of January. So that's always my future is always very close by. So.
And there are any special difficulties that you have encountered so far for
I've had many difficulties, hard, difficult ones. I've been an artist all my life, and it's very hard to because you have a lot of rivals. There's a lot of artists, and it's also a very hermetic world. It's very hard to get in.
Yes.
Yeah.
that
I
world.
can
And
imagine.
You also have the artists that go, they pay millions for it, and then you have the amateurs, but it's like there's nothing in between. So it's very hard to find a way
Yeah.
between those two poles, and that's also why I do this daily thing. It's a bit like in a DIY philosophy, like I will do it myself. because
Okay.
if you're not gonna do it for me,
'Cause you're-
because I tried many times to get into galleries, sometimes with success, but mostly not. And it's like I will do it. I will do everything myself. And
Okay.
that's how. That made me luckier than the years before. I know that I was depressed, but
Oh,
it
so
was
it makes
difficult.
you
It was a
happier
struggle.
to
It was a
feel
struggle.
that
There's a lot
you're-
of people
yeah.
that just stop with it because
Oh.
it seems like impossible.
I can
to
imagine,
continue.
yeah.
So I'm glad that I can find the energy to go on, and also the fact that I can be on Radio Centraal, because that's for me a good platform to.
Yes. So is that how you came up with the idea of the dagelijkse Lezy?
Yeah, it was like how do you say that again in English? Een goede voornemen,
A good,
resolution.
yes,
It was
yes.
my
Yeah.
resolution
Oh.
for the 1st of January 2016.
2016.
Instead of eating less fries or more fruit, I just say I'm gonna put on a drawing
Every day,
Yeah.
yes. And was it immediately with the thought also of publishing it then
No,
at the end
no.
of the year, or?
Also because it evolved. If you see my first book, it was I started out. I had a lot of trash and drawings lying all over the house, and I was thinking, this is like it's a good drawing, but it's not worth framing it and hanging up in a gallery, but it's worth putting it online.
Oh,
So that
yes.
it started out like with a half so the first book of the Dagelijkse Lezy, you see the evolution between black and white fast drawings, and it becomes more and more elaborate and with more color and more, and also etchings and posters start entering the timeline. Also posters for Radio Centraal. I have to make posters for for parties or concerts related to Radio Centraal. So that's all getting involved in it along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. In your Facebook page, we have seen that you are really having a lot of connections with a lot of people. Do you think this is important, like for your artist work?
Yes.
Like social networking and.
So like the frustration I sometimes had of not getting involved in the real art world. I am proud that I reach a lot of people, just regular people who are not all the time busy with art, and they feel a connection to it.
Yes.
And I feel a connection with the way they have a connection. Like it's, and I think that's important. I think that is art. That is more important than the galleries.
The galleries.
And the canon.
So for you, it's connecting with real people.
I think connection is one of the things about art. And I think sometimes in my drawing you don't have to be a studied person to understand it on a first level, but you can see there are more levels under it.
Yes.
So you can, I think you can find a lot of it in the drawing. I think so. Talking about myself.
No, but do you really, when you are drawing something, you are like thinking about the meanings, or is more like you are taking what you have inside and putting there? And
well, there are in fact different. Like if you look at the drawings, there are like different streams going on. Sometimes it's like the funny stream, sometimes also like the meditative stream, or how do I say that? I'm just like doodling around.
Like trance maybe, or?
Yeah, sometimes a bit like getting away from the world, just getting into music or into with a beer with it, and I'm just drawing, but I make like elaborate things out of that. Sometimes it's the live drawings, sometimes it's also murals or portraits, or so there are many different streams. And then the silly word games I do a lot. Hard to translate in English.
The word games, like puns, you mean? Like
puns.
Do they just come to you?
Yeah, they come to me.
Okay, you're not thinking days like.
No, that's why also from the beginning I did this. I said I'm not gonna give people the expectation it's gonna be a joke every day, because I can't do that. I'm not a cartoonist.
Yeah.
I have very much respect for good cartoonists. They can come up with a joke every day, but I can't do that. You just have to be there and then alright. And sometimes it's also like in bars, they are just joking around, and then alright, this is a good one, and I write it down, and then like classic. That's the way it happens.
Okay.
So do you think that so far you are like achieving the goals you were wanting with when you started to do art? Do you feel like you're achieving what you wanted, that you are in the place you should be, or?
Yes and no. It's like I said before, it's like the DIY thing. I'm glad that I can do what I can do by myself, and then that I don't need to go work in the salt mines or something.
So you can really
also say
support yourself.
To VDAB and RVA and all those silly people. It's like I've had it with them. Like so it's a bit difficult sometimes because I don't have a real statute, or how to say that.
Really?
Yeah. But also that it gives a certain feeling of freedom. Like if they leave me alone, I leave them alone, and I just
it works out that way.
Go on myself. And I am together with the people, but not with like the.
So would you say you feel successful with what you're doing, or?
Successful, that's a big word. No.
Like in your.
I feel
like
appreciation from people.
Yes.
If someone says, "Yeah, I like your," sometimes I meet people and they talk about the dialects. Then I've reached. The communication happens.
Yes.
It worked.
Yes.
It got to somebody, so that makes me happy. Yeah.
Do you have, what is like a goal for you with your art? Is it to expand it, or to just keep going what you have going on, or don't you really think about it?
Yeah. I think it's I don't know. Sometimes I think I want to be famous or I want to be, but in the end I don't think it's that funny to be too famous.
Yes.
Like I think maybe it's just alright, like it is.
Yeah.
It's of course it's on a very small level. I'm like world famous in Antwerp. I'm not too serious about it.
Antwerp is the
Like,
center
outside
of the world, as they say.
Outside of that, nobody knows me. So yeah.
But yeah, success can still be, if you're happy with
and I
where you
think
are
that's-
and where you're at.
I think a lot of what's happening in the art world is like it's out of relation, or how you say it. It's like too big or too small or too.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes way too serious. They talk about it. Or
Yeah.
they, like there's a lot of bullshit going on. You know. Also like to make parodies about it. I had a drawing. It's called Hedendaagse kunst is zo passé.
Oh, I saw it in your book because it's on my birthday. It was published on my birthday, actually.
Nice.
So people, if you buy the book, the 16th of November,
Yeah.
that's where you can find it.
Very nice. So, well, I think that to wrap up this interview, we asked you if you could bring some of the work, like your favorite piece or something you really like, and you could explain us maybe a bit why.
About a song we're gonna play.
Yes,
yes.
I would say I just picked out something almost at random.
Right.
But what I have
Awesome.
here, it's on it's a 45 single from Weevy's Thunder. So not Stevie Wonder, but Weevy's Thunder.
Oh, is that a
And also some letters
wordplay on it?
replaced,
Yes.
yeah. And it's also a guy who makes cut-ups. It's a bit like blast style, but there's like an electro musician. I've never met him. I never saw him live, but I like what he's doing, and I hope I picked out the right song because I just.
Or you
it's
can
a song
go check.
about a baboon, I think. So maybe the.
About a baboon?
Yeah, I thought so. Yes.
Maybe we can listen a bit to it
Yeah.
and then discuss it.
Okay.
It was essentially an evening of little social entertainment and unprecedented valour that was the cause of that first moonlit expedition. Descending carefully, quickly and briskly towards the east, before returning at sunrise to the uneasy sounds of romantic gypsy violins. From that moment, I have never dreamed again. Staircases of rock, horses the size of rabbits, and several thousand hound-faced baboons accompanied me on that journey of discovery, cautiously peering over the edge of their knees and shabby flanks. The light grew darker, the hair grew longer, the sky gently billowed, and gravity loosened just enough to create a small village far into the distance. An unmistakable air of excitement and confusion hung above us. Our quest was about to unfold. We had little sense of orientation, but by sheer chance, an archaic remnant had lodged itself firmly into my stumpy little fingers, creating a thin thicket of twigs and figs, illuminating the path ahead. Pushing back the tufts of grass and crawling towards the edge of the blanket, I noticed a small creature burying its head into the palm of a nutshell. It was then that I heard the ticking, insidious beat of the Cuban claves, pounding their way into my life with all the incomparable zest of a Puerto Rican wedding. This was no ordinary music. This was the sound of delicate people, a sound so infinitely thin that it became inversely proportionate to the ears of its creators. The sound of a sonically enhanced rotary mower in a universe that reeks with the putrefied strains of the sacred baboon.
Okay, a very interesting song about a baboon.
Interesting music. So you were telling us right now that you were having another song like you made about dogs?
Yeah, this Weevy's Thunder guy, it's a bit like I compared him to what I start to do, and yeah, I just quickly took something, because I always take some CDs I made myself at random to the show to see what I'm gonna do with it. And I came on it's a CD I once bought in the kringloopwinkel, Onze Trouwe Viervoeter, it was called. It's about dogs, about different types of dogs. So it's a guy explaining what's the characteristics of this
of each dog.
Yeah. And I took out this one, I chose this one for now, it's called the Hongaarse staande hond.
How to translate that? The Hungarian
standing
dog,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, we can
Let's
this.
listen.
I do love dogs, so...
De Hongaarse staande hond is een Hongaarse hond die ook wel bekend staat onder de naam Hongaarse staande hond. Van oorsprong is de hond een echt Hongaarse hond. Tegenwoordig wordt hij meer als gezins- of gezelschapshond gezien. Naast de originele Vizsla, kort haar, komt ook een draadharige Vizsla voor, die ook wel bekend staat onder de naam Hongaarse staande hond. Het zijn lieve en intelligente honden en ze zijn dol op jachthond.
Okay, interesting song.
Yeah, maybe later on we can listen to Vechthond as well. It's the next track. But
Okay, yeah, sure.
We are always up for dogs.
Yes.
So how did you came with this idea of...
Yeah, because I saw this CD for one, maybe it was even a CD-ROM, I guess, with pictures like a 90s.
Like for a computer, like an old time. Yeah.
Onze Trouwe Viervoeters. If I see stuff like that, I have to take it home.
Of course.
That's why it's such a trash at home. It's just full of CDs and drawings and stuff like that. So I thought, yeah, there must be something in this, and really, so I made like 10 or 12 tracks out of it. So we have the Witte Herdershond, we have the Bouvier, the Spaniel Blaft, the Tsjechische Terrier, and so on.
So it was a very good buy.
Yeah, sometimes
a lot
I
of
also
inspiration.
make new crossings between different dogs.
Oh,
Probably the person doing the CD in the first place couldn't imagine that it will be the result.
Yeah.
Great.
So the next track is Fight Dog? Like
Yeah, I think so.
Vechthond?
Maybe we should check it out.
Yes.
It's a dangerous dog, I guess.
Dangerous dog.
De Japanse Tosa Inu heeft een massieve en krachtige bouw. Dit maakt de hond tot een uitstekende vechthond. Bij het ontwikkelen van de hond is dan ook gebruik gemaakt van grote en sterke honden van Europese rassen als de Bulldog, de Sint-Bernard, de Bull Terrier en de Duitse Dog. De hond is het meest geschikt als waakhond en blijft het liefst de hele dag in de buurt van zijn baas. Honden van dit ras zijn absoluut niet geschikt voor beginners. Honden van dit ras zijn absoluut niet geschikt voor beginners. Dit maakt de hond tot een uitstekende vechthond. Honden van dit ras zijn absoluut niet geschikt voor beginners. Honden van dit ras zijn absoluut niet geschikt voor beginners. Dit maakt de hond tot een uitstekende vechthond.
So Bert, explain a bit what you did with this track.
Yeah, so on the CD-ROM, it's a guy who's always talking in the same voice about the different dogs, and what I do is like with this dog, it's a Japanese dog, I don't know the name again, but he's dangerous, so I keep repeating the fact that he's dangerous, and I slow down everything, put some echo on it, like it gets very scary.
Yes.
It's going on for 3 minutes, and he says it's a very, very dangerous dog. It's not suitable for beginners.
Oh my God.
But the guy only said it once and then he talked
Yes.
some. But I just took out that sentence and I like made it by repetition. And then on the other, the dog we heard before, it's like just a silly one by repeating
Yes.
the fact that the Hungarian dog is a Hungarian dog.
Yeah.
So
it
that's
makes
what
sense.
you mean by putting it out of context.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, because absolutely me, that I'm not that speaker, if I hear this track, I wouldn't think it's about the dog. I will think it's about something really scary and dark.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
well.
amazing.
That was maybe I can give to the technical crew over there.
Yes, Ruben.
Our one-man
This
technical
is a
crew.
Japanese language course. I hope it's the right. It's track 12, but maybe for after this one, you just.
I like that. I speak a little bit of Japanese, so
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happened.
But like I said, so I take these CDs that I make myself, these CDRs at random, and I know this Japanese lesson. I've been working some time on it, so this is not a definitive mix of it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
but it's a work in progress.
Okay.
And did you learn a little bit of Japanese while working with the
Just
track?
a little bit. But I don't think it's. Yeah. Like I don't know if it's in this piece, but someone's asking where's the toilet, and yes, at the end of the
トイレはど
streets.
こですか?
Ah, you really know your
Yes.
Japanese, yeah. But this is an English,
Interesting.
an American guy
Oh.
explaining Japanese, so that's maybe
Yes,
more
yes.
understandable for him.
Yeah, for me, for sure.
Yeah, you can put it. You can throw it.
Ruben is rolling the track.
Polite expressions. 2. Polite expressions.
2. 丁寧な表現
2. There are a few basic expressions that you should learn right away. 2. Small courtesies that will impress your hosts and show them that you've taken the time to familiarize yourself with their language. I'm sorry. For instance, the word please is I'm sorry.
どうぞどうぞ
Listen to the following words and repeat in the pause provided. The word for thank you is remember.
ありがとうありがとう
Thank you very much is
どうもありがとう
to say you're welcome. You're welcome.
どういたしまして
You're welcome.
どういたしまして
If a waiter or your host offers to refill your glass, you could indicate your acceptance by saying, yes, thank you.
はいありがとうはいありがとうはいありがとうはいありがとうはいありがとう
If you don't want any more, say, yes, thank you.
結構です結構です
If you're introduced to someone, it's polite to respond, nice to meet you.
はじめましてはじめまして
If you accidentally bump into someone, you should say, nice to meet you. Pardon me. Yes, thank you.
すみませんすみません
If you want to apologize to someone or express your regrets, say, yes, thank you. Of course, there will be many times when you'll be unable to understand when people speak to you. Here are a few phrases that will help you get through these situations. I don't understand.
わかりません
I don't understand.
わかりません
I don't understand. I don't understand.
わかりません
I don't understand.
わかりません
I don't understand. I don't understand.
わかりません
I don't understand.
わかりません
I don't understand.
It's really nice and funny, but I wouldn't recommend this to learn Japanese.
I don't understand.
I'm
I
all
don't
the time
understand.
hearing the track and saying,
英語
okay, what's
わか
going
り
to
ます
happen
か
now? I'm expecting it.
英語わかりますか？
Awesome, very nice.
Do you speak English?
Yeah, so it's do you do often
only
like coming
understand
back
a
to
little.
previous made tracks and
少しわかりま
continuing
す。
them?
Yeah,
or-
like this one is it's from some years ago. It wasn't finished yet. I used it for the show, but then sometimes I more refine them to make CDRs out of it.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't manage to sell, and then after a while I give them away. Or I change them with other people.
Yeah, do you like because I know that some people when they are doing art drawings and so on sometimes exchange. Like, do you do it often or?
Yeah, but more with musical stuff because sometimes with drawings as well. But the problem is that I have so many drawings everywhere. I almost can't stock them anymore. So it's a bit unrespectful also for the other guy that his work will be somewhere lost. But I have a wall at home where there's little drawings and paintings from friends and things I exchange. So I have some of it, but I can't do it all the time because I can't give it a place. And I also have to live, so that's why I also try selling
Do you
these
like
books and so that,
have an art studio, or is your house your art studio?
It's a bit the last.
The last one?
Yeah.
So paint me a picture if you can. What does the house of an artist look like?
At our place, like I have an atelier and another atelier, and my girlfriend also has an atelier.
Oh, she's also an artist?
Yeah. And the kitchen table is also sometimes full of stuff because the other atelier is lying full of. Sometimes I'm drawing there, but in fact also my atelier is my backpack.
Oh.
So that's why I draw a lot outside.
Oh
I
yes,
even
because you mentioned that
it in my introduction.
that you also
It's
draw
like
at cafes.
Some of the drawings are even made in the atelier, in the studio.
Even some of them.
Only some of them, in fact, yeah.
So your backpack is like your mobile.
Yeah, and I also have
on the
some
go.
books with me. So mostly I sell them in bars or
Oh,
after
like-
concerts.
yes.
Or,
Do you often have people approaching you, like when you're in a bar drawing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can imagine it's intriguing to see
Yeah.
a person working.
Yeah. And
So that's also a way for you to connect.
Yeah, to connect.
Okay,
yeah. And sometimes by that way I sell sometimes books even to complete strangers.
Oh.
So that if, okay, I'm lucky. I'm going on a cafe and
Yeah.
I'm richer going out.
So our listeners, if you are interested and you see Bert
careful.
Lezy on a
Yes.
coffee place, you can always get a book.
Careful or I sell you a book.
Or lucky.
Yeah,
He will
lucky.
sell you a
will
book.
be lucky. Really.
It's a nice book.
Yes.
We can tell.
It's too bad we cannot show it on the radio.
I will put it in front
Could you-
of the
do you have-
microphone, you can listen.
Do you have a favorite piece, like in this book, the one of 2018, or not really,
No, I wouldn't know.
or one with a special memory or a funny story behind it?
This is a ceiling I made.
A ceiling.
Oh.
Wow,
It
it's
was
very
a-
colorful for the
Yeah.
people who cannot see it.
Yeah, it was they can look it up on Facebook. So it's a dagelijkse Lezy on my Facebook. DDL 18 0923. So that means the 23rd of September 2018.
18 is when you made it. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. And it's a ceiling. It was a very old antique
Oh
ceiling.
wow.
And they asked me first to. It was completely broke down.
Yeah.
And they asked
Yeah.
me to restore it.
Oh,
but
yes.
So I can't restore it. That's not my job. And I'm so fix it again and. Put like we chose a color together, so they like reconstructed it, and it was still firm. And then I just improvise on it. So they said I work the best if I don't make any pre-study
Yes.
or just, and they believed me.
Wow.
Yeah. Also made a
It turned
video
out
of
really
it. You
nice.
can see
Oh.
it on YouTube as well. So if you go to YouTube and you type Bert Lezy painting a ceiling,
Then you
will
find
see,
it.
Yeah, and it's with music as well.
Oh.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and you see the making of the dagelijkse
And
so
can
that's a story.
you see the ceiling in real life, or is it private
you
property?
see it like an empty blue ceiling.
But can you visit it? Like
No, it's
private property. Okay.
Yeah, it's private.
But you can watch it on YouTube or in the dagelijkse Lezy.
Yeah, there's also, now talking about YouTube, if you type my name on YouTube, there's a lot of films I make as well.
Films?
Yeah, films or videos.
Yeah?
So
Okay.
there are some video clips for the Valerie Solanas.
Oh, nice.
And there's also, maybe we can play a song.
Yeah, I was wondering that if we could maybe listen a bit Valerie Solanas.
Yeah, maybe take the song The Beetle. I think it's somewhere on the end of the CD. Where were we? Oh yeah, there's a lot of making of drawings and paintings, like the ceiling and many other things, video clips, also blast style little movies. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
The making of?
Yeah. So check out Bert Lezy on YouTube. I have a channel there with, I don't know, 100 or 200 videos. I haven't counted.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yes,
yeah.
it's quite extensive. So we
So
will now listen to the Valerie Solanas Beetle.
These rainy days bring awkward dreams. Centipedes under my skin. I can't find no place to eat. Every spoonful tastes like shit. The beetle is back. The beetle is back with a vengeance. The beetle is back with a vengeance. There's something in the air. I can't quite explain. A cancer in my brain. Someone's interest smeared all over the side of the train. The guys of the shadows shall smell the sweet, sweet incense of our suffering. Sticky eggs embrace my thighs.
So, dear ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our show. We would really like to thank Bert Lezy for letting us interview you and being our guest. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Then also thanks to our listeners for listening. And thanks to all our teammates at KU Leuven for supporting us.
And thank you, Radio Centraal, for letting us doing our show tonight. It has been a real pleasure being here.
Yes, very much.
Viva Radio Centraal.
Viva Radio Centraal!